What's up, you guys? FSC Speed Shop. I wasn't going to do this video, but with the whole world shut down because of the beer flu, I figure I'd make this video because not for nothing, if we're sitting around doing nothing, you might be bored and want to watch something. So I got to put some kind of content out here to keep you busy. Recently, I've been doing a lot of stuff down in Chicago with the street scene down there, with Chicago Car Meets, Chicagoland Car Meets, Metal Militia, Motor Club, and so on. But we can't be doing that anymore for the while. Illinois is completely shut down, stay-at-home stuff. If you're wondering why I'm here, well, it's real simple. First of all, it's just me and my shop, that's it. So if anybody comes here, it's my family, same people I live with, my girlfriend and my son. With that also, I'm in transportation, necessity, and I'm auto repair, and in this case, truck repair. Again, necessity. So we're good there. With that being said, a while back, I did a video with this engine doing the liner projections. I did that more along the lines of nobody else put a video out for that, and I was trying to bring other people into the channel. So before I get too deep, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and you'll see the other videos that we have. We got a lot of stuff involving cars. Gonna start sprinkling in some trucks, road trips, some shenanigans, burnouts, all that kind of whatnot. If you're new to this channel, you'll find it's a very entertaining channel. Now, what's about this here? Now, what's right here behind me is a Caterpillar 3406B engine that I had just got done rebuilding. It's been taking me quite a long time. I started this project in January. It's now late March, and I still haven't heard it run yet. In fact, just today, me and my son were working very hard. We got the oil pan bolted on. We got the rest of the wiring installed. I broke a couple pieces coming off because, well, the truck sat for a long time. Real quick backstory on this truck is this. What this truck is a 1984 Peterbilt 362 Cabover. I bought this truck from Newcastle, Delaware, and towed it home. The original story with this truck, it started off as a Keene transport truck. The driver that drove for them bought the truck, eventually wound up leased on with daily transportation. While he was there, he had this engine rebuilt, had an in-frame done on it. Not long after he had the engine rebuilt, he apparently got sick and held on to the truck for quite a long period of time. I believe closing on 20 years. I got the truck home, put it back together, put all new tires, all new brakes on it, basically replaced almost every single rubber hose on this beast, and put it to work. And I ran it good for like 3 months solid. It made me good money, and I was real happy with it. I mean, not everybody gets to drive an old classic like this and make money in the process, so I was really happy with it. And then coming back, I woke up in Pennsylvania. It had lost a lot of water. The water pump had cavitated. It didn't have enough water to put any into the heater core, hence I woke up cold. I got water in it. It took 5 gallons to get it full. Once I stopped a little while further, I realized that it severely had thinned out the oil. Now it was leaking out of everywhere, which was good because the water was in the end going into the crankcase. I found this out because it was dripping out of the blow-by tube as it was steaming into the engine and condensating in the tube. I limped it all the way back here to Freedom, Wisconsin, took it apart. When I pulled all the liners out of the truck, I found 2 of the O-rings on the liners severely eaten down. The liners were in good shape, but once I had the whole engine ripped apart, I decided to do a complete stem to stern in-frame on it. The only pieces that were not replaced were the crankshaft, the clutch, and anything bolted onto the engine with the exception of the head. And it took a lot of time. I am not a truck repair shop. I don't do this regularly. This is the biggest engine I have ever built, to be honest with you. Physically, it's huge. I mean, the head is like 400 pounds. So obviously, it took me a lot of time, and I was very meticulous in my work. As for the white, you're wondering, wait, a Caterpillar and it's white? Well, this is an 84 model truck. In the late 70s and 80s, Caterpillars in any PACCAR product, Kenworth or Peterbilt, were painted Matterhorn white, as opposed to the normal Caterpillar yellow that you're all used to. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up, put the coolant in it, put new filters on it, and we're going to head and start this beast. What I'm going to do here is disconnect the fuel shutoff solenoid so it won't turn the fuel on and the engine won't start. I'm going to crank it a lot to get the oil circulating up throughout the engine. I've not primed the pump either. The idea is to let it crank. I want to get some oil moving through the power steering pump, which was removed, all the hoses replaced, but also I want to get the oil flowing through the engine before I actually fire it up. Another thing I've done on the other side is I've put a board on a bench right next to where the turbocharger inlet is. Now, I did not rebuild the injector pump. I simply took it out, cleaned it, painted it, and put it back on. Obviously with all new seals between it and the block and the injector pump and the front cover. This way eliminated all the oil leaks I had. In case it decides to run away, I don't know why I'm a little nervous of that, but I am. I can put the board in front of the intake and choke the engine off. That's also why I have the valve covers on. That way I have the ability to choke the intake off. With the valve covers off, I also have to take the turbo discharge tube off between it and the water plenum. So that's why we're going to run it with the valve covers on. However, I can take the oil fill cap off, as you saw, to verify oil flow. Here you go, guys, raw video. you can see, I got her running. I had to tickle the throttle open a little bit with my foot, but once I did, it kicked up. Now bear in mind, it hasn't had any fuel in that pump in quite a long time, so it did kick over and start pretty easy. I turned it off, I sent a couple snaps out, I made a little quick video with my telephone. Either way, let's go ahead and take a look. I'll show you how things going. I currently have her idling at about 1,800 RPM. We did not change the cam, we did not change the lifters in this engine. However, the water pump is brand new. You have to run that water pump at high RPM for a while to seat that in right. We're also trying to get it to heat up, open up the thermostat, and flow it through the radiator. We have the cab sitting up. I have the door hyperextended and the step ladder to get in. This way you can check the oil pressure gauge, water temperature gauge, tachometer, whichever else I need to do.
How dare you?
Now on this side here, just in case, like I said earlier, just in case I was ready to put a board in front of the turbo's intake, it's right here underneath the GoPro. The boost pressure leaves the turbo up through the tube and goes right up on top of that rocker arm cover right there. I've yet to change out the water filter and conditioner right here. I have the new one, I never put it in yet. I have all the valves closed for the conditioner filter, along with the valves for the heater core right here. Everything's turned off just to make sure I don't have any leaks. I want it to run up, get the pressure without anything on. I'll open them up and then I'll top off the water here in a minute. By the way, this right here is your air filter. I'll tell you one thing, I can't wait to get this truck out of here and get back to regular life. Fact of the matter is, this chop is choked up with this truck sitting in here, and I got to get to other things, so we'll get it running. I'll get some work done, and then we're gonna get back to trucking here shortly. But for now, I'd like to get a couple things done before I do. My son and I had to make this exhaust new. We had to make it out of a pair of elbows. Peterbilt no longer sells the stock white pipe for this. So we made it. We had to maintain dual exhaust. And naturally, they look like mufflers, but they're not. Now what's important in that hole that you must see is oil. There's not gushes and gushes of oil in there, but you see the head has a sheen of oil on it, and everything in there is a little wet. So we know we have good flow of oil through the rocker arm. Now this is a 4-valve per cylinder head. Rocker arm pushes a pedestal which pushes both valves simultaneously. 2 exhausts, 2 intake, and the injector, the nozzle right in the middle. Another thing with this engine is it's a water-cooled charger. In other words, it's not an air-to-air, which is like another radiator up front. What this has in that manifold is a water jacket. It's like a little radiator that water coolant goes through. The charged air goes through that, and that's what cools the charged air. turbo boost pressure comes off the turbo into this intake. In here, looks like a radiator. The boost pressure goes down through the coolant shaft. Coolant is fed through these manifolds here down into the block and fed through the front.